All right, we're visiting with Rachel Evavold, and Rachel, a senior at Dordt University and a member of the basketball team and the softball team. And looks like a sunny day where you're at, Rachel. Are you back home these days?
Yeah, I moved back to Bloomington, Minnesota.
And what was you were all poised to play basketball at the national championship at the tournament there, and then you were going to pick up the softball season after that. Quite a change of plans over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, so we were at the national tournament and then we came back and I was still expecting softball to be on. I knew it was delayed, but then I was in the rec center and I got the news that softball was canceled too. So, yeah, it was a lot of events that happened.
Take me through the emotions. First of all, the basketball. I mean, you're tuned in for basketball. You're at the national tournament where everyone wanted to get back to, and that is canceled basically minutes before you're supposed to play. And then less than a week later, your softball season is called off. Take me through those emotions.
Yeah, so basketball, I figured out in like the right spot, I guess. We were all sitting as a team, like ready to play. We found out, and then that night we just hung out as a team, which was nice. We got to have like one last night together, kind of. And then we came back to Sioux Center, and everyone kind of just went their different places. Like people were flying out to go back home for spring break. So it was just like, what do we do now? I still was working in Sioux Center at the time through the month of March. And so I stayed there for an extra week. So then I was in the rec center, and then I found out that softball was canceled. Coach Zomer called me in his office. So that was, again, like a good place to kind of find out that it was canceled. Yeah, and then I just stayed in Sioux Center for the rest of that week, and then I moved all my stuff back, and yeah, now I'm here. It was pretty emotional, but it was nice that basketball, at least we had our whole season that we got to play, so I kind of held on to that. But softball, I never really got to start, which that was kind of hard.
Sure. Now you came in, take me back to when you were a freshman coming in, softball and basketball combination. Was it always something you wanted to try to do both, or was it primarily one and the other was a tack on? How did it come about that you played both?
Yeah, so I got recruited by Coach DeWitt. She was my AAU summer coach. And she was like, you would love this school, this campus, which I went and visited, and I did. And then I started talking to Coach Zomer, and I knew like softball was my family's sport kind of a thing.
Okay.
My sister played in college, so I knew I always wanted to play softball. So I committed to playing softball first, and then they were like, you can play both, like you are able to play both at this college. And I was like there's no way I'd be able to do that kind of a thing. And then at the last minute, I decided I'm just gonna try both freshman year. Like there's nothing I can like lose from this opportunity. Like so then I decided to play both. So I'd say basketball was the second
Okay.
choice, I guess. Yeah.
Field of study, you're an education major. Were you always an education major?
Yeah, senior year of high school, I worked with special ed in my high school, and that's kind of when I really started liking that. So yeah, I'm K through 12 special ed.
Now, you did not do your student teaching, and as it turns out, that might be a good thing this semester because a lot of those students are in a bit of limbo right now. You're planning to do your student teaching next semester, correct?
Yep. So I was planning on just playing softball this year. I added a coaching endorsement, so I am taking those classes to get that, and then I was going to student teach next fall in Minnesota.
Now, what kind of job would you like to get when all of this is said and done? What's the dream job for Rachel Evavold?
Oh, I have options, but I would be interested in getting my master's in special ed just so I can work with kids with some more severe disabilities, I would say. And then I think it'd be cool to start like an adaptive softball program maybe somewhere. I coached through the city of Bloomington the past 2 summers doing that. So that's something that interests me too.
What has drawn you to the special ed path?
I would say in high school when I worked with kids in my grade in special ed, I started really liking that. And then a lot of the professors at Dort are like really good in the special ed program. And then I worked at BCS in Rock Valley this past semester, which is working with kids with autism. I was like their therapist, so I really enjoyed that. And yeah, it's something I've always loved to do.
You've been pretty busy through your college career, softball and basketball. What advice would you give someone coming in as a freshman athlete? What advice would you give to them coming to Dordt University?
Yeah. You just have to like know your priorities, I guess. And so I think like the fall is the busiest time for me because I'm doing preseason basketball and fall softball and trying to figure out like the beginning class schedule kind of a thing. So I learned how to be really organized, I would say, like organizing, okay, I know I have a game this day, so like I need to get this paper done 2 days before so I'm ready to turn it in. Um, just being organized, I think, is what, yeah, advice I would give.
Back to basketball, who's the funniest teammate? Who's the funniest teammate you've had at Dordt?
Um, there's a lot of them. I would say Annie, just because I've roomed with her for the past 4 years, and we can just make each other laugh like right away. And this year, her having her not play, like she was always that funny person at the end of the bench, just ready to cheer you on.
Okay, that's Rachel Evavold, Dordt University senior softball and basketball player. Rachel, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.